Hello. It's been a long time since I've done this, but we're going to get the show on the road. It's my birthday, and I've been meaning to stream again for a while now, maybe like 6 months or more. A lot's happened in the last 6 months. But one thing hasn't changed that I'm a big dork. And a long time ago, I bought this Lego Boba Fett helmet for myself because I deserved it. Um, and I already have the Lego Stormtrooper, the TIE Fighter pilot, the Darth Vader, and the Scout Trooper. So this is just adding to the collection, another fine addition to the collection. Um, so without further ado, let's just get started with that, and then we'll play some games later. It's a pretty suboptimal setup. Don't make fun of me. If I had multicam, I would, but I don't have that right now. Someday, that'll be a goal. Uh, so don't need you. Might have a drink in a little bit. Also, haven't had any alcohol in a long time. But I have a special one for the stream tonight. I went to Total Wine and I wanted to get a like limited release, so I got something called Whip It Out. Um, Sexual innuendo intended, I believe, but it's a take on a Dole Whip beer. So it's like pineapple vanilla. So it should be pretty good. Okay, how many bags do we have? The camera being or the mic being in the way might be a little annoying. I might figure something else out for this guy. As long as I'm still able to be heard, it's not really facing me in the most optimal way. But what is optimal about today's stream? Okay, so looks like 4 bags, 5 bags. Okay, there's five, four, three, two. Start with number one. We're going to try to fold back the instructions. I don't like how the instructions come pretty forcibly shaped in a tube. It never feels like you get them to fold back right, and you're constantly fighting them. So my original intent with building Legos on stream was that I wanted to work my way up to eventually doing Gunpla on stream. And I was like, oh, Legos is kind of like Gunpla for younger individuals. Um, and Gunpla is kind of intimidating to new people. So I kind of wanted it to be a way to like introduce that to people because it is pretty much the same thing. You get instructions, and you may not understand the words because they're all in Japanese, but you can follow the pictures, and there's simple number letter guides on how to do everything. So I wanted to kind of like ride the wave of a bunch of creators getting into Gunpla. Because I'm very into Gunpla. Haven't bought any kits in a long time, but I have a couple that I haven't built yet. Um, Not really Gundam kits, but Evangelion kits, obviously, because I'm a big Ava nerd. I'm wearing Ava uh, pajama pants right now. But yeah, normally I would probably want to start knolling at this point because I want it to be like a satisfying little stream. But I don't really feel like I have time to sit here and do all the knolling. I initially wanted to do like a bag a day and like stagger it out. So I would do bag one tonight and then play some games. And the next time I'd stream, I'd do bag two. And it'd be like a fun, like, oh, keep up with my streams to see how far we get with the build. But I'm kind of just thinking I'm going to build the whole thing tonight and play some games after the fact. So we'll see. We'll see how far we get. Was a big fan of the other helmet builds. One of the things that I like so much about them is that there's like all these super colorful pieces here, but then once the helmet's complete, you don't see any of those things. It's all hidden on the inside. It's a pretty helpful way to like see what you're doing as you're going. It's a pretty cool series. I was thinking about or as they were releasing them, I've been thinking about like the Infinity Gauntlet, which is like a similar series to this one, or the same series, but obviously not a helmet. Um, and since then, they've released the Stark Gauntlet and a lot of the other MCU ones. Like they have the Iron Man um, helmet, but none of those really interest me too much. I guess they don't look as good as the Star Wars ones. I think there was a lot more care put into the Star Wars ones, personally. Some of the light kits are cool for those, though. I've seen light kits for the Lego Infinity Gauntlet where the gems light up, and those are pretty sick. Sick but expensive. I think they're on lightmybrick.com. I keep seeing targeted ads for them. Okay, so that's good for now. Starting with something else now. Let's see. Um, cool. Doing some weird back end things. Um, I haven't been paying too much attention to what's going on in like the nerd world. I know that Comic Con is happening right now, which every year I always forget happens like on my birthday. I feel blessed to have it happen, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. Comic Con is interesting and cool, and it's nice that there's a lot of new announcements for things, but it is just a big marketing event. I'm starting to, not starting to, but Comic Con just feels like E3 at this point. These guys, they get stuck onto each other, then they get a little brownie, then they get a little piss boy, then it just goes on here. Okay, and then we do the same thing the opposite way. Yeah, I'm excited too. I think it's going to look good on the shelf. We'll have to make some room for it. It's kind of. I'll post pictures on Instagram later for the one other viewer to see. Um, but I really like the way that the little. I guess what would you call that? I keep calling it like the alcove, but that's not really what that is. It's like the AC vent, the drywall around the AC vent that makes a little canopy up there. It looks nice and centered. Adding something else will ruin that, so we'll figure out how to make it look nice. I'm gonna have to buy the other one. They have the Mandalorian helmet as well. Sorry about that. Texting Alex, who might show up at some point. We need Baby Yoda. Maybe the Baby Yoda build. That kit looks interesting. I don't know. I don't like every Star Wars kit. Um, Like, I'm not a fan of like the play sets when it's like, oh, here's like a vehicle and a small building and a bunch of minifigs. Like, I don't know, not for me. And some of the figures, like full body figures, I'm not into. Um, Baby Yoda, I get is a necessity because that is Serena's favorite character in all of Star Wars. It is, in fact, if you ask her, maybe the only character in Star Wars. Um, so maybe that could be arranged on your birthday or for Christmas. Be a fun couples build. My headphones stopped working. Yeah, they're Wi-Fi, so if they're not plugged in, they don't get a signal, and they're like, "Oh, nothing's happening." No, Alex, it changed. Okay. Did they make a life-size Jar Jar Lego kit? No, but I wish they did. That would be the perfect Lego kit. They'd get to stop making them after that. They'd just be perfect. They'd be the perfect little boy. Um, so someday, maybe if we just scream at Lego enough, be like, "Hey, Lego, we know that you are making a lot of money off of these ships and UCS and all these new helmets series things. Um, but more Jar Jar, please." I did kind of start playing a little bit of the new Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga game, and there's Jar Jar all over that. Um, I haven't played too much of it. I keep getting distracted every time I try to go play a game. I get distracted by some other game. Um, Suffice it to say, the beginning of the year, I was kind of living under a rock for the first like 3 or 4 months. So I missed like a lot of this year's major releases, like Elden Ring, um, or the ones that I was interested in. Elden Ring, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is a spinoff of Borderlands. Um, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, um, Horizon Forbidden West, and some other small titles here and there. I did dabble in some of them. I played quite a bit of Elden Ring, maybe like 70% of that game. And I just stepped away from it one day. I don't know why, and I don't know what's going to bring me back, but I'm kind of like, I'm in Lane Dell, if that makes sense to anybody. Um, so I'm trying to follow a guide just because I know there's a lot of missable shit in From games. So I'm trying to like take my time with it and like get all the missable shit as it happens. Um, but man, that game is great. So someday I'll go back to it. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to want to stream. That's the thing. There's all these games that I've wanted to play, and some of them I've played a little bit of. Like, I played maybe about 20% of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I played maybe about 40 to 60% of um what was the other one? Lego Star Wars. Obviously, like I said, Elden Ring. But aside from those, like I haven't even bought Horizon yet. Which I guess isn't a bad thing. I saved a little bit of money by not buying that game yet. But also like story game streaming, I feel like is not really the move for me on Twitch. Last time I played a game that was story heavy was Spider-Man. And that was fun, and I might go back to that someday, but I kind of had a bad experience last time I played that. So I don't know. Narrative heavy content feels strange because like I'm trying to talk because I feel like people come to a stream to see the person who's talking. Um, but at the same time, I'm trying to enjoy the game. Um, and I want people to be able to enjoy the game because I know some people kind of go to streams because they don't want to buy the games themselves or they can't buy the games themselves because money. Um, so I want the stream to be a place where people could just hang out and enjoy whatever game there's playing on the screen, I guess, and enjoy whatever color commentary I have. So it's all a learning experience, and I didn't really stick to it enough. Oh, wow. That stinks, Alex, but I'm glad you're here nonetheless. We're glad to have you. Oh, I feel like I missed a step. Yep, I didn't see the brown because it's like really nice instruction books because like it's like this Black Series sort of box design and everything. But the instructions themselves are on a black background, and when you have like a brown piece, it's kind of hard to see because the camera's a little grainy. Sorry about that. Not very high quality when you blow up a. It's like a brown piece. It's hard to see on the page, but we got it. We back to it. So yeah, it's nobody ever said it was like riding a bike. That's not what I expected. Yeah, that's the thing that I was mentioning earlier, Alex. It's so cool that these helmets have like all these different colors on the inside, but then you get to the finished product, and obviously it's just Boba Fett's helmet, so it's like Arizona can baby puke green, um, and kind of monotone. But seeing the way that it all comes together from the inside to the outside is pretty neat. I think it's colorful on purpose because they want you to be able to see like the separation in the bricks. Like if you do make a mistake or if you had to go back for whatever reason, it's easy to like pick out where you are and like where you've been. Um, it's just fascinating to me. Like I love the way that Lego designs kits and like I was impressed just in general that they came up with something so detailed, something round or something square with the illusion of round. Like Minecraft could never. I'm sorry. Minecraft 2 circles. I was just thinking about this the other day. Whatever happened to that Minecraft movie that they were going to make that Rob McElhaney was attached to at some point? Is that something that's happening at Comic Con? Are they finally talking about that? Or is that just a thing from a bygone era when the internet was young 5 or 6 years ago? Nice. You know what this is, Alex? This little gray chunk here that goes on the top of the head. There's the dent. Yeah, I feel like they kind of pivoted away from a movie. I don't know why or when, but video game properties don't seem to do so well when transferred to the big or even small screen. That new Resident Evil Netflix thing. I didn't watch it. I probably will never, because I don't really even consider myself like that big of a Resident Evil fan. But like, man, from all accounts, it's pretty rough. Like Lance Reddick, that's great. He's awesome. I'd watch anything with him in it virtually. But I don't know if I could stomach that. I've seen some clips and some screenshots of some of the like dialogue. It doesn't look great. Four piece. Four piece. I'm gonna make two of those. They're not mirrored, just as is, I guess. Yeah, I haven't watched the Halo one. I mean, I feel like I consider myself like a half Halo fan. Like I want 343 to be successful, I guess, just because I'm an Xbox guy, I guess. Um, but apparently Master Chief has sex, and like that is not a thing that Master Chief does. Master Chief is very much a good boy who doesn't have the devil's sex. So I don't know. I'll tell you what. I really like the Sonic movie and Sonic Two. Those are pretty good movies. Like for kids movies, you know what you're getting into when you start that thing. But I found them actually really enjoyable, surprisingly. Um, and I guess it doesn't count because it's D&D, but there's a new um, D&D movie that they're showing footage from at Comic-Con right now. And that looks kind of interesting. Chris Pine in a nerdy thing, so your mileage may vary, but I think it looks okay so far. There's a Displacer Beast, and I like those guys. So far, bag one done and dusted. Move on to bag two of five. Yeah, I guess there's a you kind of get a sense of some of the characters and the character classes. Um, Chris Pine is the bard, and he kind of seems like the main character. But Justice Smith from the was he in the Bumblebee movie? I always get confused. I think it was either Justice Smith in the Bumblebee movie or Justice Smith in um oh god, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World Dominion. Um which I mean, not the greatest movies of all time, but you don't have to fault the actor for that. Give the guy a chance. Yeah, I saw the Groot trailer. It looks kind of cute. A bunch of like a collection of shorts, kind of like the Pixar short style. Interesting looking concepts from the little brief clips we've seen so far. Like Groot as a kaiju for a much smaller race of creatures. We've encountered our first mistake. I got ahead of myself. So we used the new little Lego tool that they provide with every kit now. You just pry off that piece that you added haphazardly and excitedly, and we're all good. This is the base that comes with all these. Oh yeah, I'm wearing I I was a big fan of Guy Fieri's clothing line because I saw TikTok targeted ads for them, and I told Serena about it, and she was like, "Do you want anything for your birthday in specific, like in particular?" And I was like, "No, not really." And like a couple weeks later, I saw this, and I was like, "Actually," and I sent her the link for the Guy Fieri Flavortown merch, and she a couple days later, it feels like she was like, "Hey, so I'm gonna give you a birthday present early, because I think you're gonna want it, and I really just want to give it to you. Like, I can't wait that long." This was like back in, um, I guess April, May. So this is months ago. It was great though. I very much appreciate it. It's like Metallica. It's really cool. I love it. I wear it often. I'm going to flick a switch because that switch makes the fan go, and I would like some fan. So don't be mad at me, camera. Okay. We One of the hard parts of just throwing all the pieces out. It's hard to find specific ones. Okay. Single little black square. Black flat 2x1. Metallica with a bit of a comeback, thanks to Stranger Things. Dropping pieces. I'll find it when I need it. Famous last words. How's the audio coming through? I'm not facing the microphone at all. Well, yeah, you're in the room with me. Oh, okay. You got the iPad set up. Oh, it did. Like as soon as Eddie started playing, I was like, "Holy shit, they're doing it!" Um, and it killed. And there's been a ton of like behind the scenes footage of the actor who plays Eddie like actually playing the song because like he was that dedicated to the part. Like they could have easily just had somebody else play it, just like have him hover his fingers kind of over um the strings or whatever. But they didn't do that, and he committed, and that's fucking awesome. When I pull my head away, it goes off. Yeah, I think the camera's got a pretty good, or the microphone's got a pretty good pickup range or whatever. I don't know, technical term, man. Whatever. Insert whatever technical term you want to use. Dynamic range, I don't know. So again, we made the first, not first. We can't again make a first mistake, but you can be overzealous. Kitty, there's Phoebe. She says hello. Say hi to Phoebe. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. She just went to the vet today and she was not happy about it. It was her first vet trip. She had to get her um, rabies and feline distemper shot. So they don't, both of them went and both of them got the same two shots, Phoebe and Obi-Wan. But he did not handle himself well, apparently. He screamed the entire time that he was in the room with the vet. Um, she handled it well at the time, but she's been kind of temperamental with Serena ever since. Um, she's coming back, but she's been kind of chatty when Serena goes to pick her up or touch her or anything. Um, that'll wear off in a couple days. I know she'll get over it. These cats love us to pieces, and it melts my heart. I'm also listening to Spotify as this happens. It's just my Discover Weekly. This has been kind of an interesting process. A lot of new things happening here. The band that's playing right now reminds me of Modest Mouse, but with a lot less screaming. All the bases for these helmets are pretty much exactly the same. So this is very familiar, going back and building this little um, pedestal here. Done it 4 other times already. This song is Sad React by Emperor X. I don't know, again, Discover Weekly, so it's just a bunch of random stuff. A bunch of references to internet and stuff. As the name Sad React would imply. Ooh, this is funky. I say that a lot, but I don't really know what funky is. I know there's a plug-in for Twitch that I can like have it show you what's currently playing on my Spotify. And there's even ones where like people in the audience can like vote for songs or like queue up songs. Um, I might play around with that stuff at some point. Don't know too much about that yet. Still very scared of TOS, I guess. But I'm not above just saying what's playing. This one is Away From You by Pleaser. Started interesting. Oh, yeah. Oh, there was a dog. It happens. There's plenty of dogs that enter your house. Um, so I don't fault you for that. Hey. Well, it's time for the head and the base to meet, and become one conjoined being. There he is. There's Boba Fett, daimyo of Mos Espa. Yeah, no, I'm not playing music. I would be very afraid to play music. I just inside my headphone I have an AirPod, and that's just playing music on my phone. Um, so it's for me, but I can tell you about it. Isn't that a great experience? It would be cool to be able to play music, but again, like TOS scares me, and like I don't want to be doing a stream and have Twitch just start yelling at me, and then the cops bust in my door and be like, "You can't do that. That's illegal." I would not be able to in real time start singing the song that's playing. That would be I would have to be incredibly talented for that, and I'm only about mediocrely talented. Still in the back of my head, I'm thinking I dropped a piece. Um, we'll find out at some point if I'm looking for something for forever and I can't find it, and then I'll have to get up from the chair and start rooting around on the ground. That'll be interesting content. Hey, all content's good content. Engagement. Yo, is this Hobo Johnson? I haven't thought of that guy in like 5 years. Yeah, it is. Holy crap. Hobo Johnson showing up on the Discover Weekly. About 2 years too late. I remember like having a lot of respect for that guy when he first entered the scene, and like I feel like he just dropped off. Am I wrong? I guess this is music from him. I don't know when it was released. Let's find out. I could not be lazy for 2 seconds. 2021. Good for him. Releasing music, especially even just during a pandemic, is a lot. Who was it? Hobo Johnson. He's like one of them sad rappers, sad white boy rappers. But he does a lot of like talkie with a silly voice. He was popular for a minute. Obi's here now. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Catnobi. Um, he is my little chunky boy. He got weighed at the vet today. He's so chonk. He's 3.8 pounds, and he's the younger cat. So he weighs more than his sister already. Um, and she's older. The name, I mean, I kind of wanted to name a cat Obi, like during the Obi-Wan series. I was like, oh, if we do get a cat, I kind of want to name it Obi now because the show is so good and it's kind of reigniting my love for the character of Obi Wan Kenobi. He's actually really good and well written in most of the content that they put him in. And Ewan McGregor, I mean, come on, right? And then I thought about it, and our cat Obi is a tuxedo patterned cat, meaning he's black with white spots. And I was like, oh, that's great. He's like the light shining in the darkness, kind of like Obi Wan. So there's that. It's very nerdy of me to say that out loud to a public audience, but I just did. So accept me. Um, so we got the back of the helmet here, about to go into place. Make sure I line that up properly. A chunk. There we go. Looking good. That vertical red stripe down the back, reddish orangish stripe. Okay, we got some more in bag too, though. Still. I said that we were probably going to have some sort of cameos from the cats, and there they were. Might have some more in the future. Who's to say? I'm feeling as though I made a mistake again. Let's see. It'll be hard to tell because the mistake that I think I made was on these back corner pieces. Or that could have just been on the front. No, there's got to be some sort of. Oh, no, there is overhang there. Yeah, okay. I wasn't wrong. We're good. False alarm. It was like this piece. It's hard to see. This piece goes on here, and there's a bit of overhang with the piece above it. And I wasn't seeing that. I think maybe I was like, I put it out here for some reason. But it goes one more in, so it looks like more of a rounded corner there. Again, hard to see. I don't know. I think the camera keeps trying to autofocus every time I move my hands. It's trying to autofocus on my hands. So let me see. Do a bit of live producing here. Camera. Camera control, focus. Let's uncheck auto. Let's manually focus. Apply. Okay. That might be better. I think it's already 10 times better. Awesome. Cool. Live production on the fly, folks. So you're gonna go there. You're gonna go there. So yeah, I saw a. Serena sent me a rumored um, leak that Marvel has trademarked some terms. One of which being, I can pull up the text she sent with a tweet. Avengers Secret Wars, which I've been saying for a long time, I think is the way that they're going to have to go at this point with all the multiverse stuff that's been happening. Not even just in Multiverse of Madness, but every other Disney Plus show so far, basically. I've been feeling like Secret Wars is coming for a long time with all this multiversal stuff. Specifically, even the mention of convergences in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I think we're going to have some ramifications of maybe some of the. What's that fella's name? The Beyonder? Is that the guy from Secret Wars? Which I have a feeling it's not even going to be based on either of the comic Secret Wars. I think it's just going to be its own thing. But I can see them going that route. And I can see it coming soon. It was just the Watcher? Okay. But I think it's going to be obviously Battle World. And I think audiences are ready for that complex of a story. I don't. I mean, I'm sure they will introduce some characters to the MCU that way. Obviously, at this point, that's not how they're going to introduce mutants. I think if anybody, okay, yeah, it is the Beyonder. Okay, if anybody has not watched Miss Marvel at this point, maybe mutants get mentioned in there. Spoilers, oh, for a show that came out and already finished airing. So I think that'll be interesting if they go Secret Wars mutations. Yeah, technically, they didn't call Miss Marvel a mutant. You're right, but I'm sure more of that will get explored in the Marvels. Then the next thing that was rumored to have been trademarked is Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, which I don't know about that one. That one, I mean, I know Kang is going to be in what's she called? um, Ant-Man Quantumania. Um, but I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't see. I think they'll get rid of Inhumans because of the Agents of Shield and failed show. I don't know if they'll get rid of Inhumans entirely because they just did reference Inhumans with the same exact actor from the show, Anson Mount, in Multiverse of Madness. So I don't think they'll get rid of it. I think it'll just be like, in some multiverses, there's Inhumans. In others, there's not. Like, maybe in another multiverse, um, in like universe 8794, Kamala Khan is a Inhuman, but in this one, she's a mutant or whatever. I think at some, I'm not as brushed up on Kamala Khan as a character as some other people, but I think I had seen some sort of article where Kevin Feige was talking about how I guess there was a storyline where she was introduced in one story and she was like mistaken for a mutant. Like Nick Fury or somebody called her a mutant at first because they didn't really know what she was. Um, but then eventually they were like, "Oh no, we were wrong. You're not a mutant. You're an Inhuman. We know that those exist also, so you're one of those, not one of these." Um, which I don't see them doing necessarily. I don't know. I don't think they'll get rid of the idea of Inhumans. I think they will just um, try to make Inhumans some other way. I think they'll do Inhumans on a cosmic level instead. Like, I think the next time we see Inhumans, they won't necessarily interact with our main MCU core cast of characters. They'll just have their own thing and then they'll just be brought in. Unlike Eternals, where it was like, they have their own thing and they were here all along. I think it'll be like, they have their own thing. Now they get to play with the other characters or something. I don't know. It's messy. We know it's messy. Um, they'll think of some interesting way to hide it. This is going to be a satisfying piece to place because the bottom back piece is done. Now the top piece is going to be added to that. So this feeling like I messed this up, but I didn't. Wow, it just goes right in there. Back of Boba's head. All right, I guess I didn't miss any pieces, so Obi doesn't have to go scrounging on the floor for any Legos to eat. Um, we're on to bag three. Supposed to be Kree experiments, so it worked out. Yeah, I think I never watched the Inhuman show because I never considered it required viewing for the MCU, and it never was. It never wound up being that. I mean, they just showed Black Bolt, and that was kind of it in Multiverse. They didn't even explain his powers. They just expect you to know what his whole deal is. That he doesn't speak because his voice is too strong, and that's his power, and it can like destroy things if you were to speak too much. Um, that's kind of all you need to know about Black Bolt, I guess. Uh, Alien humans at large. But I guess I mean there's some other interesting characters there, like Medusa and some of the other Inhumans are pretty nifty, I guess. But we'll never know how they move forward. I mean, look, the MCU isn't going away, right? Like at this point, like it was an experiment that they started years ago, and it did so well that they kind of surprised themselves, I think, with how well it's done. But the MCU will be here well into the point where we are old and crusty and about to die, and it will probably still be going after that. The MCU will outlive us our entire generation. Um, so, will there be Inhumans again at some point? Absolutely. In Phase 16, everyone will know all about Inhumans. Um, is that interesting to us now? Maybe. Um, so what else? There was Avengers: Secret Wars, the Kang Dynasty. Yeah, I kind of got off track. The Kang Dynasty. I don't see that really happening because it's Avengers: the Kang Dynasty. So that's kind of saying that Avengers 7, because it was one, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty. So Avengers 6, I guess, would be all about Kang, which I don't really see, but I guess Secret Wars could be Kang instead of the Beyonder or the 2015 Doctor Doom. Um, so it could be all about Kang because we have kind of seen him pop up. Maybe have to constantly stop in the past. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of time travel, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey going on for sure. Um, the next one, Captain America: New World Order. That's kind of an interesting name. I'm probably completely ignorant on this one. I bet there's a run of Captain America in the comics that's called Captain America: New World Order. Like, I bet that's a reference to something, and I just don't know because I'm not really a Captain America head like that. And really, who is? But as long as Sam Wilson is Captain America, I'm interested. I think retroactively, I became a Chris Evans fan, and so now I'm sad that he's no longer Captain America. But I do think that um, what's his name, Anthony Mackie, does an incredible job as uh, Captain America now. I didn't really like Falcon and the Winter Soldier as a show. Um, it felt stifled. There was a lot of production issues. Like there was going to be a much bigger. Um, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like Captain America to me has always been like a boring kind of character, but Chris Evans was so charismatic that I think he brought him into popularity for a lot of people. Um, I don't know, America itself being so problematic, it's kind of hard to get behind somebody with a American flag on their chest. I mean, we've also seen the other side of that with the boys, um, which is I think is a very accurate representation of America as a character um, with Homelander. But I think I would like to see what Anthony Mackie does with the character moving forward. I think it could be a much more a character I could get behind from the get go. We'll say. Um, the next one, Multiverse Saga, just Multiverse Saga, which Serena had asked me. She's like, is this like another Doctor Strange movie, like Doctor Strange Multiverse Saga?" Um, which I don't know if that's the way they're going to do it. I think it'll be more of um, I think it's going to be like the way that they called phase 1 through 3, or yeah, 1 through 3 was the Infinity Saga. Phase 4, 5, and potentially 6 will be the Multiverse Saga. It's just like a marketing name that they probably have to like trademark so they can put it on toys and clothes and DVD releases or whatever the hell else they got to put out and sell in Disney parks. Um, Grab the Infinity Saga mug and the Multiverse Saga T-shirt after you ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Hollywood fucking Epcot. You know, so I think it's just more of a marketing thing. Like they got to get the trademark out while they can. But it's still cool that they would officially call the era that we're in right now of MCU shows and television and movies. Shows and television are the same thing. Shows and movies. Uh, the multiverse saga. Finally, like defining what Phase 4 is about, because I feel like we've been on this run of Kevin Feige being like, "Oh yeah, you know what Phase 4 is about. It's happening right in front of you on the shows and in the movies. It's kind of been building towards something." and it's kind of hard for me and some other, I guess, fans to see exactly what it's building to. Um, but I trust the guy, you know. So multiverse saga, and then this is exciting. We knew this was coming with Black Widow. We knew this was coming with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but just Thunderbolts, which I think is the good way to go for that. Like, not Avengers versus the Thunderbolts or something. It's not going to be its own whole Avengers movie. I think that's one where you can introduce, um, quote unquote, some of these young Avengers characters. I don't think that they would wind up calling them Young Avengers. I think maybe they should just continue to act as though they're like kind of Peter Parker, like, oh, Avengers in training until like some major event happens where they were like, oh, yeah, no, you're official members now. Um, Another satisfying piece to place in. We've been doing this, the green and yellow along the side, and then the top now is getting added to that. Satisfying. Um, so yeah, you would assume that would be um, Kurt Russell's son as evil Captain America man, um, and maybe um, what's her name? Florence Pugh's character, Yelena. Maybe some other characters we haven't met yet that will get you introduced in that show and or movie. Zemo could come back. Zemo could be a big part of the Thunderbolts. Yep. Um, I mean, normally the Thunderbolts is um, Thunderbolt Ross's team to like not even necessarily combat the Avengers, but like do the same kind of things the Avengers do, but covertly sometimes, and maybe morally or ethically wrong sometimes. Not too familiar with them, but like anything Marvel, it's always like a rotating cast of um, genetically engineered freaks. So we could see some interesting stuff there. I don't know. I mean, the actor who plays Thunderbolt Ross passed away tragically. So I don't know. Maybe instead of it being Ross's team, it would be like Zemo's team. He seemed pretty passionate about like um, destroying super soldiers at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So maybe he's like, I'm going to put together a team of people who maybe include some super soldiers, but we all have sort of aligning ideals, at least momentarily. So we're going to go out into the world to do some things. I don't know. That doesn't sound super interesting. At least the way that I say it. He does lead them at some point, but it changes the name. Yeah, I can see them doing some different things with that. Um, Obviously, all of this is just speculative unless they say anything. But those were the leaked titles that they had. I guess somebody had seen. Somebody, some random person on Twitter whose credibility I don't have the ability to vouch. Um, yeah, I mean it's looking up. Um, because you know Comic Con and like they could announce some things, and with the pandemic and everything, they haven't. Marvel hasn't been in Hall H. I think in the last 2 years. I'm not a Squishmallow fan, and I am a Pokemon fan, but I don't think I am a Pokemon Squishmallow fan. Um, I don't think I'm mentally ill enough to have Squishmallow addiction. If that was offensive, I apologize. I do think they're cute, but I do not own any. Um, yeah. That's kind of my take. I'm sorry. You are both. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. I think that they know their audience at least. If I mean, I didn't really look at the collection. The only ones that I've seen so far were Gengar and Pikachu, I think. So I mean, if they had a Magikarp, I'd be quickly changing my tone. Um, but Magikarp never gets rep, so I don't think. Yeah, that's all there is. If again, when they hit me with Magikarp, I'll be interested and I'll see what they have to say to me and what they have to sell to me. But not until then, probably. And that's unfortunate. But hey, um, your boy's all grown up now, and he has rent to pay. So I'm happy when companies release things that I'm not interested in. Oh, cool. Is that like a local con of some kind? Best Seattle? I've never heard of this. Pokemon Go Fest. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's sick. That's I re-downloaded Pokemon Go like a couple weeks ago. Um just on a whim. I started playing Diablo Immortal on the phone because I was like kind of hankering for a phone game. Um but as much as I'm a fan of Diablo, like the standard experience, um I don't know how much of a Diablo phone game fan I am. It was very uh, pushing you towards monetization, and I got very like not far into the game before I started feeling very repetitive, which is kind of just what Diablo does for me. I want to like Diablo a lot, but it kind of just because like the loot loop is very satisfying sometimes. Just getting incrementally better and better gear. I definitely got suckered into that with Destiny back in the day. Not so much Destiny 2, but a single player game like Diablo could be fun. I might be more interested in the full release of Diablo 4 when that eventually releases, because that footage from that does look really interesting, and the classes seem pretty cool in that. Um, but I think I kind of had some burnout too because um, a lot of the plot felt very similar to me to what I played of Diablo 3. At least some of the first couple locations are pretty similar. So I was like, you know what, I'm done with this Diablo game. It took up a lot of space on my phone too, like a lot of storage space. So I wound up deleting it, and I was like, you know what was a phone game though? Pokemon Go. I tried to go back to it. I played a little bit. I played some of the Dino Community Day, and that was kind of neat. Um, but then I think I deleted that too. Just didn't hold me as much. Yeah, I don't really want to support Blizzard as much anymore. I'll support the devs at Blizzard if they want to put out a good game. Um, so maybe I'll wait for the um, eventual Microsoft acquisition to go through and finalize, and maybe see if they do something about management and leadership at Blizzard. Um, I doubt something's going to happen quickly. I haven't been paying attention much to the news about all that, but I think the last thing I heard was that Microsoft wasn't necessarily um, going to immediately tackle the issue of Blizzard management, which is upsetting. Like, you want Microsoft to continue being good guy Microsoft. But again, we're talking about corporations. They don't have people's best interest in the back of their minds. They need to make money. Their bottom dollar is what they care about. Um, so at the end of the day, the world is a pretty shitty place. We all just have to live here. But one individual person's support of a game is not going to make or break a developer. So I'm sure all those people will continue to have jobs. It sucks though when you work for a corporation that is that shitty. I think the current thing, the most recent thing that I might have seen like even today was that there was a big walkout at Blizzard because a lot of employees were upset about their reaction to the Roe v. Wade overturning thing, and a lot of people and a lot of other companies have been getting given um, like options from the places that they work. Like if they needed to go out of state for an abortion or something, they would get like some sort of travel stipend or whatever, and they were getting support from their uh, employers. But obviously, Activision Blizzard, a place where sexual harassment ran so rampant for so many years, they're not going to offer anything like that. So there was a walkout, I guess, today or recently. I haven't been keeping up as much with video game news, so I don't really know all the details. Kind of talking out of my ass, so I'll kind of just stop talking about it. Discover Weekly playlist is ended. I feel like I made a playlist at one point. I guess I'll just do my liked songs. Ubisoft Pirates game. You know, Ubisoft and I feel like we have such a complicated relationship. Um, some days I love their games. Some days they kind of annoy me more than anything. Um, I was never interested in Skull and Bones, like never ever. And the fact that there's been so much like will they won't they actually release or produce this goddamn video game is kind of shocking to me. That it's gone this far. Oh, here we go. Another satisfying moment. The side piece. The other side is the one that has the antenna, so this one will be nice and clicky. Oh yeah, that's satisfying. We got 3/4 of a boba. Yeah, I've never really been interested. I do love a lot of Ubisoft games, like I'm a big Assassin's Creed nut, obviously. Um, I played all of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I haven't gone back for the DLC yet, even though I have the. I technically bought like the special edition of the game that had all the DLC included, so like the season pass. So I can go back to it at any point, and I'll have all that content to play, and that'll be great. And I contemplated at one point doing that on stream. I don't know if I'm still thinking that. Um, oh, this is interesting. The visor is also in this bag. So the visor just goes on now. That's crazy, or at least the central part of the visor. Um, the top of the T. Uh, so recently, one of the things that I did off stream, because I have been playing a lot of games off stream just for my own personal enjoyment, um, was a game that I actually just finished like yesterday and did like all the 100% stuff in was Immortals Phoenix Rising. And I really liked that. That was really good. I was actually contemplating getting the DLC for that, but I have enough games right now that are burning a hole in my need to play list. So I think I'm going to stick with them for now. And I'll just keep that in my back pocket because the DLC, like the season pass for that, is still like 40 something bucks. So I'll wait for a sale and then I'll buy those when they're cheap. Um, but and there was also just leaked today a potential um, spiritual sequel successor sort of thing that's building off of Immortals Phoenix Rising, um, but with Hawaiian, Polynesian sort of lore. Um, like Maori gods and stuff. And that sounds really cool. Like the same concept of like gameplay from Immortals Phoenix Rising, but with um a totally different pantheon because the Greek gods were kind of repetitive since I was a big fan of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is already Greek mythology and like Greek culture and stuff. Just kind of getting like a second helping of that, and it was kind of repetitive, as all Ubisoft games are gameplay wise. Um, I think if you could pick it up on a sale sometime, Alex, or if it ever comes to Game Pass, I think you would really like that game, Immortals Phoenix Rising. We made another mistake, which is okay. Happy little mistakes. Um, yeah, if you could get it on sale or Game Pass, God of War, that's another one. Um, I bought the sequel already. They did the pre-order the other day. Don't let Serena know. Um, yeah, I bought that. Pre-ordered it, even though pre-ordering games is a no-no. Did I pre-order one of the collector's editions that comes with Mjolnir? Maybe I did. Um, which hey, it was great because it comes with a digital copy of the game rather than a physical, and my PS5 is a digital only PS5, so I can't be mad about that. I know I'm gonna love it because I love the first one. All right, going into bag four. Progress so far, looking like a bit of a boba. And you know what? We're on bag four, so let's celebrate with a beer. All right, so as I was describing earlier, this is the Whip It Out by Knee Deep Brewing. Say fine craft beers. Pineapple whipped kettle sour. She's a 4.8 alcohol percentage. They have a little bio on the back. A mouth-watering kettle sour that tastes like your favorite enchanted theme park treat, that being Dole Whip. Oh yeah, we're gonna whip it out. Sweet, fruity, and pleasantly tart, Whip It Out is the tropical flavored refreshment you have been waiting for. Knee Deep Brewing Co. They're out of Auburn, Placer County, California. This beer made it all the way from California to Boynton Beach. Let's give her a shot. Smells like beer. Mm. It does have all the aspects of a sour. Um, and I am tasting the pineapple. The cream is kind of hard to make out there, like the whip topping um, is hard to parse. Cream flavors in beers are kind of hard, unless they put like um, lactose in the beer to make it sort of like a stout, which you can do with blonde ales or like a milk stout, but like you can have it in a lighter beer. That is possible. It is a possibility. But that's not exactly what this tastes like. It just kind of tastes very pineapple-y and very sour, which I don't hate. I like sour beers. Also, notably, I haven't had any alcohol for since the beginning of the year, since the first ish. It was 6 months at the 6 month mark of the year. So yesterday I had my first beer again. We were celebrating my birthday. Um, so I bought a 4 pack of some nice craft beers from Total Wine. I treated myself. I had a day off yesterday, so I went to Total Wine and I bought some beer. Yeah, Mountain Dew. I'm drinking a crisp Mandew. Nice, nice, nice. You got to have some Mandew every now and again. I switched over to just my liked songs, and right now there's a pretty sick cover of Owl City, the Fireflies song, by a band called Make Way for Man. A heavily bearded individual on the cover of the album art, reminding me heavily of 2012 and YouTube back then. We're making some progress. Oh, excuse me. I was um, I was a little nervous that once I had changed the the goal or intent of the stream from doing one bag, I was going to do like one bag a day. I don't know if you're here for that bit, Alex. Um, that I would finish the stream and not even play any Castlevania. Um, but that's not a concern of mine anymore. I think we're going to get there as soon as I figure out how these pieces go together. Did I do something wrong? The instructions lie to me? That's rarely ever the case. Oh yeah, you go the exact opposite way. Okay, so now you make room for you. Cool. Yeah, because like when I did play, when I did build the other four um, helmets, what I did do was I built them like one bag a day because I'm a big fan of the Tested podcast, which is Tested. If you don't know, is Adam Savage's channel on YouTube. Um, but they do talk a lot about Legos on the podcast there. And one of the things that some of the builders there mention is like building like one bag a day, like with their family. Like if they're building Lego with their kids, they'd be like, okay, so you do your homework, you do your chores. So tonight we get to build a bag of Lego. And they just parse it out slowly like that. And I think it's so satisfying when you have the time to do that and you have the space. Um, I might do that with the next build, which I'll show once this is over to tease maybe future streams. I might do those ones bag a day because that one is a bit bigger of a build, and it would require its own space, I think. So as I ease my way back into streaming, and I find myself wanting to do it more, um, might see some different things attempted. It's hard when you get to like this point because you have instructions will say now we have two of these single 1x1 flat greens, and then you're looking at the piece and it's like they're already on there. and you just have to compare with what you have going so far. Sorry. You just have to compare it and figure out where the piece needs to go. In this case, it goes right. Schneer. So it gets a little more meticulous as time goes on. Oh no, the happy birthday banner fell. It heard me being a little nerdy. It got upset with me. The really sick F-Zero cover song right now. Which is just reminding me of last year when I streamed a little bit of F-Zero on my birthday. And I talked about the music. Full circle. Yeah, that's, like, there's been a big revival, I guess, of people getting into 40K and minis and Gunpla even recently on Twitter, on the good old Bird app. But I am glad that mini craze never was something that stuck with me. Just put another chunk on there, the other circle on the other side. This one will be, I'm assuming, have some mechanism for the antenna, because the antenna on this kit does rotate down for the scope. So, what was I saying? Something about Bird app. What can I say? Oh yeah, minis and things. I'm kind of glad that I even got out of Gunpla because man, that was such an expensive hobby. Like, ugh. I still love them. I just when I moved, I went through all my Gundam model kits that I had made. And Serena will tell you, I threw away, like, put in a trash bag and took to the road, probably about 95% of my collection. I gave away some of the kits to her old boss's kids, just so they could have things to play with, I guess, give them some toys. But, like, I don't really think that a built Gundam model kit donates well. They're kind of fragile kits. They're not really meant to be played with, which makes me sound like the biggest fucking nerd. And that's okay. But they're pretty fragile. Unless you like glue them together, which is a cardinal sin of model building, unless it's like a 40K model or a mini or something. You do not glue together snap fit kits. Because what happens if in 3 years you want to customize it or detail it and you have to take it apart, which nobody ever does, by the way. Yeah, it's just like, it's hard. So I threw them in the trash, and it is what it is. But I kept every Evangelion one because that is still something that I'm insanely attached to and define my personality by, I guess. Um, so, priorities change, things happen. It was really upsetting to see all that money go in the trash, but it is what it is. Um, we um, we do still have all the pops. That's another whole thing. With the intent to sell them someday. See how and when that ever happens, but Serena has assured me that she will help me. That makes me feel better about it, that I know I'm not doing it on my own. Um, it's an eventual thing, not a needs to happen now thing. And hey, if it takes a couple of years, eventually, maybe they'll be more valuable. Maybe they'll appreciate in value. Actually, I doubt it, but who's to say? A lot of those pops get vaulted over time. Like they don't reprint them; they go out of print. So they might actually increase over time. I'm not betting on it. Like I don't care if they do or not. Eventually, if I could just like if I could sell them all as a lot, someone would just give me like several $100 for them. They're worth. I still have the Funko app on my phone, and all the I've already went through the trouble of adding them all at one point. Let's see, and it gives you like a sort of market value for each of them. So account, uh, discover, scan, lists, my collection. Oh, it has been going up. I feel like last time I checked it, it was valued at about. Oh wow, holy shit! Last time I checked it, I feel like it was about 4,000, 7,000. Now it's valued at $8,477. The most expensive one, I filtered price by high to low, is a Dobby from My Hero Academia, and that is $350. And I know that one's mint. The second most valuable one is Asuka from Evangelion, and she's 260, and she's a Comic Con exclusive. But that's one that I want to keep. I want to keep all the Evangelion ones. So unfortunately, I'll not make money off of that one. But I could make money off the rest. So I'm not too upset about having them, I guess, anymore. Happy birthday to me. Appreciating value of owned goods and assets. Takes up a lot of space, though, I'll tell you that much. Kind of a pain in the ass to move. Oh, this is cool. So we can already tell this is the other side. We already did the one side of Boba's helmet, and this little hinge here is definitely going to be for the antenna scope thingy madoo, which I'm pretty sure is the in canon name for that. Antenna scope thingy madoo. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. I don't think we've ever seen him. I think it is. I mean, they all have kind of moving pieces on them because of the way that they're constructed. Some of the pieces are like hinged on there. Um, but this one technically does have some more moving parts. Yeah. Next up, a bunch of these wedge pieces. 100% correct on the name. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think when Lucas was like building Boba Fett as a character, the thingy Madoo was like very key. Um, I watched the Disney Plus documentary about Boba Fett, um, like as like from concept to screen kind of thing, where they talked about how the original design for Boba Fett was all white, like it was a whitewash version of the suit that we have now. And they explained like some of the background for that, and like they interviewed the guy who played Boba Fett like in the suit and like people who play Boba Fett as like a walk around character at Disney parks. Yeah, he's just like at a fair in some city, just walking around. People are like, "Whoa, who's that guy?" And they're like, "Oh, he's going to be in the new Star Wars." It's like, wow. Again, just marketing, but that would have been so cool to be a kid way back then, and just randomly happen to be in that town and like have Boba Fett there and be like, "Oh my god, that new character," and then see the movie and be like, "That's not the same guy." Um, I think where we lived, Alex, in the good old city of Port St. Lucie, and I could be wrong about this, um, but the guy, one of the guys who was in the Vader like suit, the guy who played Vader like as the character, not obviously the voice, not James Earl Jones. That was satisfying. Clicked into place. This whole side chunk here with the hinge bit. I think he lived in or around Port St. Lucie, because there would be like Christmas events, and they'd have like this guy. They'd have like these posters, and they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be there." I forget the name. I'd have to look it up, which I can do shortly once I'm done with this bag, which is coming up soon. Um, they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be there. He played Darth Vader, and also he was in Guardians of the Galaxy." And you're like, "What?" And he just shows up to a lot of events in Port St. Lucie as like Santa Claus. Like they do like a Christmas event, and he'd be like the Santa Claus on the fire truck. Spoiler alert: Santa Claus isn't real. Um, but I think that guy lived in Port St. Lucie, or like at least had a summer home there. So he would like do like Christmas events as Santa Claus sometimes. Oh, here we go. We did the visor, but we didn't do the red eyebrow for the helmet. Oh, that's nice. So we got one bag left. Let me Google that gentleman so I'm not talking out of my ass. Um, I think he was the blue guy in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 when the Guardians are in the kiln prison and all their stuff is getting gone through, and Star Lord's Walkman is being listened to by like a blue prison guard, and he like steps out of line and he's like, "Hey man, that's my music," and he like gets into a fight with him and he gets tased by the guy. I think it's that guy, but he's also a Darth Vader. Darth Vader. Would you call it body actor? That's a weird thing to say. David Prowse. That's different. That's a different guy. I feel like there's been a lot of guys, you know? Because this guy is definitely the original guy. He was born in 1935, died 2020. Um, who plays the body of Darth Vader? David Prowse. 5 little known facts about David Prowse. Let's see. He helped create memorable performances for movies he wasn't even in. He played Frankenstein's monster 3 times. After Darth Vader, his second most famous role is a British superhero. He reprised the role of Darth Vader in 1996. He accidentally spoiled Empire Strikes Back before it was released. Okay, that didn't help much. Um, Darth Vader. Yeah, that would help, right? Guardians 1 cast? Hmm. Hmm. Mean Guard. Spencer Wilding. Yes, Spencer Wilding is a Welsh actor and special creature performer in the UK. He is from Meliden. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the place he's from. Professional kickboxer and professional cruiserweight boxer. Filmography: Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. He was a werewolf. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The 2005 Beowulf movie. Some Batman stuff. More Harry Potter. Game of Thrones. He was a White Walker. Doctor Who. He's done a lot of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy, Mean Guard. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Yeah, he was the Rogue One Darth Vader. Um, and yeah, I think he just like showed up in Port St. Lucie a couple times to like play Santa Claus. I don't know. He's not even an old guy. Which I guess you don't have to be Santa. Just put a little beard on and gut suit. All right, bag five. Last one. And then I tease the next Lego kit and we play some Castlevania. Worth noting so far, something I just thought about. Some of the other, actually, all of the other helmet kits have included the use of the infamous and well hated in the Lego community stickers. Um, excuse me. Oh wow, that's a good beer burp. Um, this kit has not had any stickers yet, and I don't think it will. I didn't see any stickers in the bag. All the detail you see on the finished piece just comes from the bricks. All the color separation, all the detail, and that's just kind of what adds to some of the impressive nature. Oh, this is cool. That piece, you know, that piece, like just the line. You're like, oh yeah, that's Boba Fett. Vader had some stickers for the vents, like on the mouthpiece. There were like some flat pieces, vertical flats, and stickers would go on there to show the mouth vents. This is this one, yeah. Other one. Yo, what's up, Q? Welcome to the stream, friend. Thank you, sir. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. It's been pretty happy so far. We're almost done with this Boba Fett Lego helmet build. And we'll play some Castlevania. It has been a minute and a half. All right, yeah. So like, this is pretty cool. This is something that the other kits did too. Like when you get to the face, and it's like, okay, clearly, very, um, very iconic Boba Fett face piece. This is like a shield that like a minifig would hold, I guess, in any other kit. But this goes on the back here, and then in the main helmet piece here, there's these hinges, and this just attaches in here, and all of a sudden you have cheeks, and like it's just so beautifully works together to make that detail. We're getting there, bit by little bit. Wow. The other side is now clicked on. And looking like pretty iconic Boba. We still need the, as we know it's called now, the antenna scope thingy madoo, and the rest of his mouth hole. But we're starting to run low on pieces, so those are all coming up shortly. Oh, hell yeah. I see what looks like the finished product on this page. I doubt it is, because I bet there's more detail that I don't see. But let's not rush it. Normally, I'd be taking a Lego build, weird, a Lego build much more slowly and trying to savor each minute of it. Um, but we have a goal here tonight. We're gonna finish this, do something else. Here's the vertical channel of the front of the face mask. And looks like these guys go down on the bottom. So this just should click into place. Oh, wow. Wow. Dent and all. So we just have antenna scope thingy madoo. Um, and the plaque, which is just one piece. Doesn't even have a sticker. In any other Lego kit, that would be a sticker. Um, I think in the future, when I do the next Lego build that I will tease shortly, um, I will take it slower and have like streams dedicated to just that build because it's a bit bigger. No, it's not the UCS AT-AT that they came out with because that's like $700 or something ridiculous. But I still think it's neat. Um, yeah, like to me, it's like a form of mindfulness meditation, just like slowly appreciating how everything comes together to build something unexpected at the end. Okay, there's the guy. Obi makes another surprise appearance. Obi-Wan can Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's so fuzzy. He sees himself on screen. My wonderful son. Now that I've called him wonderful, we'll try to jump in the box that these came in, and we'll try to jump on the table. He's a little troublemaker. Oh, wow. That's cool. I'll be putting glamour shots on Instagram to be sure. But there's one more piece. Boba Fett. Phoebe turn. Phoebe's going to get some attention now, too. There she is, the finished Boba Fett. But there she is, the Phoebe. Hi, sweetie. Oh, she's upset. She's more photogenic than Obi is, but she's a little upset today because of her vet trip. Yep. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Phoebe. She also sees herself on the screen, but I think she's a little camera shy. So we're going to let her down for now. I'm sorry, baby. Sorry. All right, so that is a Lego kit in a stream, and that's been fun. I like that. Normally, again, like I said, Lego is sort of a contemplative, meditative thing, and it's very singular. But sharing it with other people is something that I like to do now, I guess, and something that I'd like to do more with future Gunpla builds, specifically those remaining Evangelion Gunpla kits that I have to build. So that's that. I'm going to go grab the other one just to tease it for next time. So that one was a 625 piece set. This one is 1,023 pieces. It is the Mandalorian Razor Crest. One of my favorite ships in Star Wars now, with its inclusion in the canon. Yeah. So next stream, I'll probably kick it off with bag one of this, and I'll take that a little slower, and then I'll play some games. For this stream, I'll move over to playing some games. But to do that, it's going to require a little bit of effort on my end to reset the overlays and things. So I'm going to kick it to away for now and mute myself, and we'll be back in a couple minutes here. Peace. See you soon.